Years old, I got in a near-fatal car accident. I was following a Mercedes-Benz and a Mustang, and they were kind of passing each other on a rainy day on a highway. And they were aggressive drivers, and all of a sudden they didn't see the traffic in front of them, so the Mercedes-Benz slammed on the brakes, the Mustang followed, and I was behind them. These are supercars, so they stopped immediately, but I ended up swerving out. I swerved left to avoid the back of the Mustang, did a 90-degree turn almost into oncoming traffic, then swerved back, did a 270-degree turn, and stopped with the back of my car 2 feet away from the guardrail. So this was very dangerous. If I had actually hit the guardrail, who knows what could have happened, but it kind of made me wary of drivers on the road since. This brings me to my point of autonomous driving. With autonomous vehicles, this would never have happened. There would be no aggressive driving. Everybody would drive the same. Bob Lutz, the former vice chairman of GM, says this: the autonomous car obeys the speed limit, never drifts out of lane, never passes. So therefore, that brings me to my thesis that drivers should be legally required to switch to autonomous mode while on the highway by 2025. This would be incredibly easy to police. There would be, uniform driving across all cars. If there was one swerving in and out of traffic, clearly they're not using their autopilot mode. Also, it would make highways a safer place. Now, for those looking at me like I'm talking about something out of iRobot or something, just let me start with the current state of autonomous vehicles right now. All the major car companies have been working on this technology since around 2008. The vehicles here are either fully autonomous or partially autonomous, meaning that they do steering by themselves on the highway, and they all park by themselves, but you have to do acceleration. The technology is very intricate, but to put it simply, there's a GPS system that is currently manufactured by Garmin that tracks the road and the traffic, while the cameras on the front, back, and sides see the other cars and send the messages to the computer, which then computes acceleration and all the mechanics of the actual driving. So the existence of self-driving vehicles is inarguable, but what I think really makes them the way of the future is the experience and the safety that they can provide. So some of you may be thinking, I just love the thrill of driving. Pedal to the metal, it's such an exciting thing, and I'm the same way. When I got my first car, it was the most incredible thing, but just let me reiterate that in my proposed legislation, side roads are not affected, so by all means, go crazy, even though they're policed heavily, so don't go too crazy, but have fun driving on your own on those roads. Delphi made a car in April that drove from San Francisco to New York in 99% autonomously. This is an incredible feat, and just goes to show the feasibility of this timeline. Delphi is a little-known car manufacturer, but they used an Audi frame and then put their technology inside. The logistics of implementation are feasible. The technology exists, and Google even says that the robotic driver is not only on par with humans, but superior. This is Chris Urmson. Since 2010, he's been the executive in charge of autonomous driving at Google. Google and Apple are both putting out fully autonomous vehicles next year. They feel as tech companies they're more prone to make better models because it's kind of a new market. It's not necessarily just mechanics of driving. He goes on to say that humans accelerate and brake much more drastically than the robotic cars. They're more gradual, and car software and the cameras allow them to also maintain a much more uniform, safe distance in between cars. So back to my story, if I had an autonomous vehicle, it would have probably been following the Mustang a little bit farther and kept me more safe. So driver assistance is not a new idea. It's been around since the 1980s, and I think driverless cars are just natural human progression. Anti-lock brakes came out to try and take some of the human element out of driving, and a fully robotic, autonomous vehicle is in our near future. And as you can see here, this could be our driving experience in 10 years. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you guys agree.